Family is supposed to be the one place where we feel safe, protected, loved without conditions, but some homes hide secrets so dark, so silent, that when the truth finally emerges, it shocks the world. Tonight, we explore 10 tragic cases where fathers murdered their own families. These stories are heartbreaking and meant for educational understanding only. Viewer discretion is advised. 1. Chris Watts, Colorado, 2018. Victims: wife Shanann, strangled; daughters Bella and Celeste, smothered; unborn son Nico. Chris Watts appeared to be a calm, loving father, a man with a perfect family. But behind the smiling photos and cheerful videos, he was falling apart. Financial troubles, an affair, and a desperate desire to start a new life. On August 13th, 2018, Shanann was strangled in their bedroom. Their two daughters, Bella and Celeste, were smothered shortly after, and their bodies were transported to an oil field where Chris worked. When the truth came out, the world was stunned. A father who smiled for every camera had destroyed the very family he pretended to cherish. 2. Michael Haight, Utah, 2023. Victims: wife, 5 children, mother-in-law, cause of death, multiple gunshots. The Haights looked like the perfect family, active in their community, loved by neighbors, always smiling in photos. But Michael Haight lived with a need for control. When his wife Allie sought a divorce, it shattered the illusion he built. One January morning, he shot his wife, then her mother, and one by one, all 5 of their children. 7 lives ended in silence. A father who could not accept losing control chose devastation instead. 3. Robert Fisher, Arizona, 2001. Victims: wife Mary, throat cut; children, Brittany and Bobby, killed before fire. It was still dark when neighbors heard an explosion, the Fisher home engulfed in flames. Inside, firefighters found Mary Fisher with her throat cut. Her 2 children had been killed earlier, their lives taken before the fire. Investigators quickly learned the explosion was deliberate, a cover-up, and the killer, Robert Fisher, had vanished. His abandoned truck was found deep in a forest, but he was not. To this day, his whereabouts remain unknown. A father who destroyed his family, then disappeared into legend. 4. Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès, France, 2011. Victims: wife Agnès, 4 children, cause of death, gunshot wounds, buried under home. The Dupont family lived a life of elegance, private schools, fine dining, social status, but behind that polished image, Xavier was drowning in debt. When police searched the home after reports of disappearance, they found fresh concrete beneath the terrace. Buried beneath it were Agnès and all 4 children, each wrapped with care, each accompanied by a religious object. Xavier mailed letters claiming the family had gone into protection. Then he vanished. He was last seen walking into a wooded area and never seen again. A father who erased his family, then slipped into the world like a ghost. 5. Bain family murders, New Zealand, 1994. Victims: father, mother, 3 siblings, cause of death, gunshot wounds. Just after dawn, a shaken voice called emergency services. They're all dead. Inside the Bain home were 5 bodies, each killed with a rifle. David Bain, the surviving son, was arrested, then convicted, then years later, acquitted in a retrial. To this day, the country remains divided. Some believe David committed the murders. Others believe his father Robin killed the family before taking his own life. 5 lives lost, 1 survivor, and a mystery that refuses to die. 6. Jeff Hunt, Australia, 2014. Victims: wife Kim, 3 children, cause of death, gunshot wounds. Jeff Hunt carried a burden no one could see. His wife Kim suffered a severe brain injury in a crash, leaving Jeff as the sole caregiver. The pressure built slowly, day after day, year after year. One September evening, Jeff shot Kim, then their 3 children, Fletcher, Mia, and Phoebe, before taking his own life. This tragedy was not born from anger, but from emotional collapse, a man drowning silently in despair. 7. Jason Socorro, Texas, 2016. Victims: wife, 3 children, cause of death, gunshots. In the Socorro home, arguments were common. Tension filled every room, and stress pushed the family to the brink. One night, everything shattered. Jason shot his wife, then each of their 3 children, before taking his own life. Neighbors were stunned. No one imagined the quiet tension would erupt into a tragedy so final and devastating. 8. Patrick Kaufman, North Carolina, 2020. Victims, 2 children. Cause of death, gunshots. Kaufman had a long history of violence, restraining orders, police visits, explosive anger, yet he remained dangerously close to his children. During a heated custody dispute, Kaufman violated a protective order. He shot both of his children, then turned the gun on himself, a tragedy that could have been prevented if warnings had been taken seriously. 9. Gary Lindsay Jr., Florida, 2017. Victims, 4 children. Cause of death, gunshots during 24-hour standoff. A domestic dispute escalated instantly when Lindsay barricaded himself in an apartment with 4 children. For nearly 24 hours, negotiators begged him to surrender. Family members pleaded for calm. Police held their positions, hoping for a peaceful end. But inside the apartment, Lindsay shot all 4 children. When SWAT entered, the silence said everything. A devastating end to a hostage crisis that spiraled beyond control. 10. Donnie Hartung, Florida, 2015. Victims, mother, 2 brothers. Cause of death, blunt force trauma and stabbing. Resentment had been growing in the Hartung family for years. Arguments about money, tensions around inheritance, old wounds that never healed. When Donnie's mother and 2 brothers were found dead, the scene revealed violent blunt force injuries combined with stabbing. Investigators pieced together the timeline, the evidence, and the motive. Donnie Hartung was arrested for all 3 murders, a family destroyed by anger, and blood belonging to the same lineage. These 10 cases remind us that danger does not always come from outside the home. Sometimes it grows quietly within it. Control, financial collapse, jealousy, mental illness. These signs are often visible long before tragedy strikes. If you or someone you know is experiencing fear, instability, or emotional volatility in the home, speak up, reach out. Someone's life may depend on it. Stay aware, stay safe, and never ignore the quiet warnings that whisper beneath the surface.